All right, hey everybody, this is Mike. I'm gonna give this thing a shot here. I got my project bike behind me here, 1977 GS550. So today, I figured I'd get started by doing a compression test, kind of a step one to see where we are with the engine. It's not running currently, so want to see what kind of compression we have before we dig into it, and then probably start tearing the carbs apart, see what kind of mess is in there. I bought it off a guy for 300 bucks. At least it has all the parts, the pieces. The tank is in fairly good condition. I even have the Suzuki badges. It's in pretty rough shape. Let's just do a quick walk around. So, like I said, it's in pretty rough shape, but you'll be able to get a feel for what's going on here. So, the tank doesn't have too many issues on it. I'm going to probably end up having to clean up some stuff, but it is what it is. I love the fact that it has that kickstart on there. You can see this duct tape job that they did to the seat. That doesn't matter. That's going to be completely different. Exhaust is completely blown out. I may or may not keep the headers before I decide to do another aftermarket exhaust on there. What else? Has all the original controls up top and everything. Actually came with a key, believe it or not. You can see this like homemade paint job that they did on there. Kind of bled all over everything. They weren't too terribly concerned about getting anything right. This is a true project. It's going to be trying to determine whether I'm going to make it into more of a cafe build or a scrambler / tracker build or something in between. We'll figure it out before we actually get going in earnest, chopping anything up. But like I said, today's going to be a compression test. See what kind of compression we have in the engine before we get started. This girl's in pretty rough shape, but a little time, patience, she'll come back to life. This is my first project, so it's going to be a learning experience for me for sure, but I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens, see what comes of it. All right, let's get started. see if I can't kick this thing over a few times and get a reading. Cylinder 1, pretty low, hella low. It's like 100 and maybe 100, almost 100. Let's see what the other ones read. If it turns out that I need to get in here and do rings, or let's release the pressure. If I need to get in here and do rings or valve adjustments or whatever, I'm not too afraid of that. So look at it as part of the challenge, honestly. It's an old bike. It's not like it had a great life. 22,000 miles, and it's in this kind of condition. I found it under some guy's carport with a bunch of grass growing through the rims. So it was definitely neglected. But let's see, a little bit of time and patience. Let's see what we get back out of it. Sure the old girl has life in her yet. Let's see what cylinder 2 gives us. All right, cylinder 2. Throttle open. Cylinder 2 about the same, about 100. All right, I decided to hit the easy button. I got this little jumper box for motorcycles. I'm gonna hook it up to the leads on the other side. Use the electric start. All right, that one's a little worse. Probably like 95, 94, 95. Yeah, so compression is, I mean, I guess that's fairly low. For all I know, that could be perfectly expected for a bike this old. I'm going to look up the actual compression that we should be looking for. I know those two, the difference between kick starting it and e-starting it though, it's like probably like 20 psi, 10 to 20 psi, something like that, I don't know. All right, let's check out number 4. See what we got. I don't think I was holding it at full throttle at the time either. Maybe, we'll see. That's got me at the same like 90, 92, something like that. I'll just try number 1 with the E-start. See what kind of reading we get. So I got a little bit higher with the kickstart, strangely enough. Alright, test number 1 again with the E-start. Yeah, I got juice in the battery. Okay, a little bit lower with the E-start. That's strange, but whatever. So they're all reading around 90. I wonder how normal or out of spec that is for a cold test. Anyway, I'll put that in my little shop notebook just to note compression for posterity. So there's compression test. Looking at about 90 psi. I released it from there, but looking at about 90 all the way across. So I guess, again, they're reading fairly close together, so that's good. I don't know if that reading on a cold engine is good or bad. Do some more internet research, dive into the forums to see what that looks like. But there we are. So I think now, I want to get this tank off, get the gas out. It's leaking gas anyway. See, I got this oil pan under here, sort of catching gas. And I'd rather not have it leaking gas and accumulating fumes in the garage. So drain it, get this tank off, and start pulling these carbs off. See what they look like. I'm expecting them to look like shit, but we'll see. Not sure how well this is picking up, but I think this is a vacuum petcock. We've got the prime over here, we've got the reserve here, and it just says down here is on. So I think where this circle is, that's sort of like circling what position you have on. There's no off on here, so I think this is operated by vacuum. But anyhow, we're gonna get the fuel lines disconnected down here off the carbs. The tank isn't even really mounted, so I put a little bit of gas in it when I went to look at it at the previous owner's house, so there shouldn't be much that comes out. But anyhow, we'll get this drained out, get the tank off, get this battery box out of the way, pull the airbox off, get to these carbs and get those carbs off. No fasteners needed there. All right, there we go. Little preliminary clean. They're not surgical, but a lot better than they were. They're surgical compared to what they were. I mean, there's still a ton of grease on there, but I think I'm pretty satisfied with this, just to stick it in storage for now. You know what? I gotta put those screws back in there. That's probably a good idea. Definitely a good idea. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm pretty satisfied with these. There's a ton of varnish and rust in the bowls. Just general grease all over the place. I've just been using some WD-40 industrial strength degreaser. So, I don't have carb cleaner with me. When I actually take these apart to do the rebuild kits and the jets and all that good stuff, I'll use carb cleaner then before I drop them in the ultrasonic cleaner, so I can get them super duper clean. Polish up the caps, polish up the bowls maybe. But yeah, I think they look a lot better, and that's good enough for storage. There we go. Screws back in.